So this is 7F notes, which is dividing polynomials using synthetic and long division. Today we're only going to be working on division, long division, that is. Next class will be synthetic division. So we're going to keep in mind that terms cannot be skipped. So in terms, like what I mean by terms can't be skipped, and for example, if I had a problem like x to the third plus 2x plus 4, looking at the exponents, you have 3, then 1, then it would actually be x to 0. Anything to 0 power is 1, and 1 times 4 is 4. So looking at the exponents, 3, 1, 0. Well, we're missing 2. So you're missing the exponent 2. So we need to actually, when we're doing division, we need to take in account for that place. To do that, we're not going to actually add anything that is of value. We're going to add in 0x squared. So 0 times x squared is 0. So we're really not adding anything at all to this problem. Just to kind of we're adding just a placeholder for the x squared term. So that's what we always got to keep that in mind. That's step 1 always. So looking at example 1 here, we have the very first thing we look at. So the first step, look at terms and exponents. So we have 2, 1, and if we want to add in this last one, it'd be 0. 2, 1, 0. Goes down by 1 each time, so that's perfect. So we don't have to add any terms in. Second, I'm not even going to write the second step. It's set up your division. Our third step is now we are going to start our division. Or I want to say second step is to divide first term by first term. So we're going to highlight the terms. So we have the first term, so 80a squared divided by 8a. So the leading terms. So 80a squared divided by 8a, so 80 divided by 8 is 10, and a squared divided by a is a. Now if you want to do that off to the side, you certainly can. If it helps you to visualize it this way for a little bit, that's not a problem with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. You could do subtracting exponents with like bases, so that would be a in the numerator, or 80 divided by 8 is 10, or we could just do this. This is how I actually used to do it. That would really help me visualize what I need to do. So 80 divided by 8 is 10. A's simplify, so you end up with 10a. All right, so that's just a little side note. Now, after you divide the terms, the next step is to multiply your answer from step 2 times the binomial, the thing you're dividing by. So you have 10a times 8a, so multiply this. That's 80, ooh, that's a weird looking 0, a squared. And then 10a times 7, so you're distributing to both terms. So that's 70a. And you subtract. I put it in parentheses. It does not matter how you do this. You just got to remember you're subtracting both terms. And we're subtracting vertically here. So our next step is to subtract vertically. And they should be like terms. So 80a squared minus 80a squared, those will simplify. 20 to 0. 22a minus 70a is a negative 48a. The fifth step now, so now we've subtracted everything. Our next step is to, I'm trying to figure out what color I want to use here, is to bring down the next term. Pretty easy step. Once I show you, it probably is pretty easy. So it's a negative 42, so bring down minus 42. And the last step, and you're like, what was that really? This is going to be the last step yet? Yeah, it is. So the last step is, and it's a big one, repeat steps. So we take the first term divided by first term, so negative 48a divided by 8a. So again, you can do this off to the side. If that helps. We got a's will simplify, so there'll be no a's in our answer. And negative 48 divided by 8 is negative 6. So this will be negative 6. And now multiply that down. So negative 6 times 8a is a negative 48a. Negative 6 times a positive 7 is a negative 42. And we're going to subtract these. First terms they're the same, and then you subtract the same term, they're going to be simplified. Negative 42 minus a negative is plus, so that'll actually be 0 also. So this means it divides evenly, and there's no remainder. So we have 10a minus 6. All right, example 2. We have biggest exponent, or the exponents go from 4 to 3 to 1, oh no, to 0. So we're missing the x squared term. So when we do this, we have to add that in. So we have 6x to the fourth plus 24x to the third. Let me put this in a different color so we can see what I'm adding. I'm adding 0 times x squared, which is 0. So I'm not adding anything to change anything about this problem. I'm just, it's a placeholder. It's a term holder. And we are dividing this by 6x minus 6. All right, let's get going on this. 6x to the fourth divided by 6x. Remember, we're doing first term divided by first term to go up top. So dividing to go up top, multiply to go down, then subtract. So 6x to the fourth divided by 6x. 6 divided by 6 is 1. X to the fourth divided by x is x to the third. You can put a 1 in front if you'd like. Now we multiply to go back down. So x to the third times 6x is 6x to the fourth. X to the third times a negative 6 is a negative 6x to the third. We need to subtract here. You certainly could do, there's different ways people do this. I put parentheses around it because it reminds me to subtract. But you certainly could do subtract and another subtract in here, which makes this a plus. And then you would add, and then you would just do the signs vertically. It does not matter to me how you do this. 6x to the fourth minus 6x to the fourth, simplify. 24 minus a negative is plus. So that's 24 plus 6 is 30, x to the third. Bring down the next term. When you're dividing to go up, you should always have two terms down below. So 30x to the third plus 0x squared. So 30x squared, x cubed divided by 6x is 5x squared. 5x squared times 6x is 30x cubed minus 30x squared. Subtract these. 30x cubed minus 30x cubed. Simplify. 0 minus 0x squared minus a negative, so that's plus 30x squared. Bring down our next term and repeat the process again. 30x squared divided by 6x would be 5x and multiply back down. So 5x times 6x is 30x squared. 5x times negative 6 is a negative 30x. Subtract. 12x minus 5. So bring the next term down. 12x divided by 6x. So we're dividing again. 12x divided by 6x is 2. Let me do that in a different color. So 12x divided by 6x is 2. 2 times 6x is 12x. 2 times a negative 6, so multiplying by both terms, is a negative 12. Subtract, and that'll be 7. The first terms will simplify, leaving us with 7. There's no more terms to bring down up here, so that is our remainder. So we're going to have a remainder of 7, which in terms of how I would like it written, it'd be you're adding 7, and this is the fraction 7, and what you're dividing by. You're dividing by 6x minus 6. So it's a fraction of 6x minus 6. And that'll be your final answer. Okay, that's long division. If you have other questions, please.